exciting time for us. We've been working very hard. Obviously, you guys have seen our schedule. My whole plan was to try to get a little bit further ahead this summer. I think we did that. It helps having a lot of guys come back from last year's team. So we're excited to get going. Like these guys would tell you in your interviews, we're just taking it day by day, just trying to get a little bit better each day. But yeah, very excited about this group.
Okay, questions, please. How much does the sting of the last couple of years, getting so close to the NCAA tournament, how does that? How much do you think that keeps these guys hungrier, you hungrier for the upcoming season?
Um, I think it plays a factor into the motivation part of it. But shortly after the game, you kind of have to remove yourself from it and start thinking about how you can get better so it doesn't happen again if you're fortunate enough to get back in that position.
Tell us about some of the new additions on your team.
We're excited about the returners, first and foremost. They're going to be a huge part of the reason why we win. And then we've added some really, really good pieces. And the main thing going into the transfer portal, into that recruiting season, was to improve our character, improve our skill. And I think we did that with the three guys that we brought in. KJ Jenkins is one of the elite shooters in the country, and very excited about having him on our roster. He'll play a huge role for our group. Ahmad Harvey is somebody that we needed a guy like him, somebody that can defend in the post, defend pick and rolls, rebound the basketball, play with high energy. Reminds me a lot of James Baker. Not as good of a shooter, not as skilled as James Baker, but that type of five-man in our system. And then Shamar Rattan Mays, he's another guard that we needed. We needed some guard depth, somebody that can help us in our press, somebody that can be a defensive pest for us. So outside of their ability to play basketball, they're high-character young men, and that's what really drew us to those guys.
Is there a most that you would categorize this team as, the most mature, the most hardworking, the most skilled? I know it's only been a short time through the season, but is there a label yet?
I don't know if I would label them yet, but we've been consistently competing. These guys get after it to the point where I don't necessarily have to punish them after losing a segment in practice. They get after it. They're very competitive. They're very together. But a lot of that will kind of, that's to be determined.
I know there's so many factors that go into winning and losing a game, but like we talked about, being one bucket away basically 2 years in a row from advancing to the dance, is there one thing or maybe a couple things you can boil it down to that this year that this team will take care of?
Well, the main thing for us is we're trying to make sure we do the process, our process. Everybody's different, but doing our process well every day. I didn't think that we did that on a consistent basis last year, and it came and caught us at the wrong time. And I understood that, and some of the other guys did as well. So we're just trying to do our process well every day.
You have a lot of experienced players, senior, graduate players, and kind of to go back to what they've been saying, you've been close but haven't gotten past that hump to get to the NCAA tournament. What is the pressure like this season?
I wouldn't necessarily say there's pressure. Obviously, there's expectations. But like I told you, like I just said, we try to focus on doing our process well every day. I'll try to take the pressure away from those guys and answer the hard questions and, defend them when needed. But we just try to do our process well every day.
What did you say to bring KJ Jenkins here? What were some of the things you were telling him?
Well, we told him that he would play a huge role, and we didn't promise him anything. We told him that there was an opportunity for him to come in and play a whole lot, potentially start, and expand his game. At his previous stop at New Mexico, he was, primarily a standstill catch and shoot guy. We wanted to expand his role and let him play off pick and rolls and just have the ultimate neon green light. So, he's really, really, really good.
Coach, you're bringing back a lot of guys this year. How important and how good does that make you feel as a coach that these guys are bought in
and want to be here and want to be a part of what you're building here at UNCW?
It's important. I told somebody the other day it's a testament to our culture and the character of young men that we have. In today's climate with the transfer portal, it's easy to, get disgruntled and take off running. But we feel like we have a family atmosphere and a great environment here. We don't only focus on developing as players. We really pour into their character and helping them grow as young men. And I think their families appreciate that, and I think they appreciate it. So our culture is really good, and that's why you haven't seen a lot of turnover.
How much do you think it will help in the CAA, conference like the CAA, to have so much experience, so much older leadership?
Well, I'm certainly hoping that it helps a lot. A lot of these guys have been around the block a few times, and we won a lot of games together with some of these guys. So I hope it helps. The one thing about it right now, every coach loves his team for the most part. We haven't experienced any adversity. A lot of that's to be determined.
Being a former player, how do you think that helps connect with players and coach the team?
I think for me, and I'm removed, far removed from being a player, but I think one of the better things that I do is I kind of have a feel for each situation, each moment that could potentially come up, and I try to get out in front of it. When you mentioned pressure, trying to get out in front of that early in this summer. Just trying to have a feel for each situation that could potentially come up is something that I think is very important, especially when you're dealing with a veteran group like this.
You had to weather COVID in year one for you. You had to rebuild in 21-22, and then you had a lot of stability in year three. It's a couple fresh pieces, but like we've talked about, a lot of experience back. Is the leash shorter with your guys because you feel like they know what they should be doing? Is that something that you'll have this season?
I don't think the leash will be shorter. If anything, it'll be a little longer. I trust these guys. They trust me. Some of the newer guys, they've had a short leash in practice, trying to get them up to speed on everything. But I can count on the 9, 10 guys that we're going to play. I can count on them to do their job more times than not. And I think with the longer leash, they're more confident and comfortable being out on the floor.
Would you say the season has unfinished business because of how close you've come?
A lot of other people would say that. I don't. I can't tie last season or the previous season into this season. This is a different group. We know what we want to accomplish, and that's what we're working towards. But I won't bring that up. We won't bring that up. We'll just make sure that we're doing our days well. That's what we're focused on.
What kind of team are people going to see?
It'll be a different team than you've seen in the past. This is more of the team that I envisioned when I took over the job. Pressing every single time, being in people's face, getting up and down the court, playing fast, shooting more threes than we have in the past, being really aggressive, really competitive, hopefully pretty deep. We feel like we can be pretty deep, and that'll allow us to play the way we want to play.
Is there a specific milestone, trip, game, moment that you're really looking forward to this season that's on the forefront of your mind?
Not at all. Just want to get better every day. So today is important. Tomorrow will be just as important. But there's no particular game that we're looking forward to.
Coach, can you talk a little about what you've been focusing on this off season that'll, you think, help you get over the hump that you've been struggling with the past season?
Well, I wouldn't say we've been struggling with anything. We've been very close. Just pouring more into our system, the way we want to play. Like I mentioned, playing fast, getting up and down the court, trying to score more points. I think that's important. We haven't been able to play that way since I've been here, and then being more aggressive in the full court with our defense, pressing every single time. We've been pouring into that a lot. And I think if we pour into our identity, I think that we'll give ourselves a chance to win a lot of games.
For you personally, how are you feeling with where you're at? We know, congratulations on securing a bet. We know you signed a contract extension. Back-to-back 24 season wins. You mentioned a lot of time, how cool the environment is to play in Trask Coliseum. I don't even know. Last year's Charleston game, the video of the students lining up outside. The buy-in is incredible to see, and you're a part of it. How does it feel knowing that you're really helping spearhead this, basketball popularity at this school.
Yeah, it's definitely humbling. I feel very blessed. This has been something that ever since I left to go to NC State, when we struggled for a couple years here at UNCW, that was a challenge that I was ready to take on. And for us to make sure we're doing it the right way was important, not just have a splash, have a really good year, and then drop down and then maybe have another good year a couple years later. I wanted to make sure that we built a program to where we're competing at the top, and being in the top 4, top 3, and competing for championships every season. It's important for me to give to the community. I think putting a product out, a winning product on the court, making sure our guys are handling themselves the right way in the community, giving the community something to be excited about, and the university something to be excited about is very important. So I'm humbled. I'm blessed. There's a lot more work to do, and I want to, we want to keep making everybody proud.
Coach, there's talk about heat culture when it came to the NBA Finals. What would you describe as Seahawk culture?
Seahawk culture. That's crazy that you said that, because we talk about that a lot. And they do it in a unique way. It takes a special type of player to play for me. The first thing that we always talk about with the recruits, the parents, is what type of kid are you? Do you handle yourself the right way off the court? Do you take care of your academics? Can you be reliable? I think that's the most important thing, a player with high character, and somebody that's driven on the court to be the best, somebody who loves basketball, who wants to get better at it, who wants to be a pro. And there's a lot that goes into that, but I would probably describe it like that.
Coach, thank you so
much. UNCW basketball tickets on sale now. Led by Coach Takayo Siddle and the top 4 scorers from last year, men's basketball is looking to make another postseason push. Nicole Woods enters her first season on the sidelines and looks to bring energy and excitement to the women's program. Both teams welcome non-conference opponents and a full CAA slate to Trask Coliseum, including conference newcomer Campbell. For tickets, call 910-962-3233. Order online at uncwsports.com/buy tickets. UNCW basketball tickets on sale now. Led by Coach Takayo Siddle and the top 4 scorers from last year, men's basketball is looking to make another postseason push. Nicole Woods enters her first season on the sidelines and looks to bring energy and excitement to the women's program. Both teams welcome non-conference opponents and a full CAA slate to Trask Coliseum, including conference newcomer Campbell. For tickets, call 910-962-3233. Order online at uncwsports.com/buy tickets.